So this is my Mitsubishi Mirage from the beginning. So in the beginning, when I first started learning about cars, the Mirage was pretty much my secondary car. I actually had a Nissan 240SX at the time. The Mirage was never supposed to be modified. That all changed, but when I started modifying it, I wasn't exactly sure on how I should modify it or what I'm supposed to do. So I was still in the young tuner phase, I guess you could call it. But I couldn't afford all four rims at one time. I was in the military at the time, so it was a little difficult to pay for things. So I got the rear set of wheels first, and then eventually got the front set. So that's it's pretty much my first modification that I actually did to the car, and they were 17-inch wheels, which were, in my opinion, way too big for the engine, at least. 92 horsepower, like around these big 17-inch wheels. It was a lot slower than it was when I got it, so that didn't help performance at all. So after about 3 or 4 months of having the Mirage, I actually went online and found the Mirage forum, and this was probably one of the first forums that I actually been on where the guys were extremely helpful. I started learning a lot of things I could do with the Mirage, and some of the things the other guys had done with the Mirage, and I was very intrigued and very interested to meet some of these guys. So I started kind of reaching out into the Mirage community and seeing if I could meet up with some of the locals. It's been really fun. It's helped me learn a lot about cars, being a part of the Mirage community, and maybe that's one of the reasons why I fell in love with it so much. I mean, I love the feedback and the help that I was getting from the Mirage community. So whenever I wanted something done in my car, needed help with my car, so I knew I could talk to these guys and they were willing to help. So that probably kind of fueled my reasoning behind modifying the Mirage even more, even though it was, like I said, never intended to be modified. So during a lot of this time, the Mirage only had a custom intake that was made by a shop called Ingenuity in San Diego. They actually had an exhaust made for it also, that they custom did. And the car had a Apex SAFC on it. Didn't realize at the time that without upgrading anything else, that's not really going to help me at all. But at the time, me being the young tuner guy, I thought it was cool. So I also ended up getting a set of coilover sleeves, which blew my shocks out pretty much immediately. So that's where that went. So after much debating of whether I should turbo the Mirage or not, I finally decided on taking it to a shop and having a shop build the Mirage a turbo kit. I had pretty much bought a ton of the parts, and I knew I was going to go out to sea soon, and I was going to be out for quite some time, so I decided to drop the car off and let the guy build the turbo kit while I was gone. He did a pretty good job on the turbo setup. You'll see in some of the pictures and stuff. It was a somewhat efficient setup. He had actually ditched some of the parts I originally had given him and given me something else. You'll see the intercooler setup is quite a bit different from many intercooler setups that you see. I believe it was a GST Eclipse side mount that had custom intakes made on it, and he converted it into a front mount intercooler so that there would be very minimal turbo lag, which there was. I mean, the thing, you could hit the gas and it would hit full boost and take off. Like, it was seriously, there was almost no lag. The car ran on 5 pounds of boost in the beginning, and it was really fun. Anybody who has a turbo car knows 5 pounds of boost, it's not going to cut it. Even 10, 15 pounds, if you get a boost controller, you're going to want to turn up the boost, and that's exactly what I did. I bought a manual boost controller, and I think I ran around 10 to 12 pounds on it, which made the Mirage seriously a quick, fun car. So I had taken the car to get dynoed and get some of the numbers actually put on the paper that I was making, and I wasn't too discouraged with the numbers that it was making. In these dyno videos, you'll see the car just kind of running on the rollers, and so a friend of mine, Angel, he went with me, and we were fairly impressed by the numbers that it put down, considering that I was starting to run into fuel issues and the exhaust was kind of clogged up, so to speak. So it wasn't the most efficient kind of setup, you know. But yeah, in these videos you'll see the dyno runs and whatnot, and following will be the dyno sheets. The first dyno sheet will be on 5 pounds of boost, uncorrected, which put down, I believe, 107. And the second one will be on 11 pounds of boost when we started having issues, and I believe it was around 137 to 140. Not 100% off the top of my head. So, but yeah, that was nice. And pretty much that night, the car got jacked, and I came outside to the steering wheel in the back seat, and a whole bunch of my parts that ran the car stripped out. So much for all that dyno tuning.